just in case. So quick reminder, today is Monday, May 23rd, and we're talking about the research paper and due dates, final things to think about as we have only today plus 3 more class sessions for the rest of our semester. We're almost done. You are almost done. So the final draft of your research paper, as good as you can get it, should be sent in to me by Wednesday night this week, the 25th of May. If it comes in on Thursday, that's fine. I probably won't look at them until Friday because I teach also on Thursdays. But you want to get it in sooner rather than later so that I have enough time to give you really good, useful comments and get it back to you so you have enough time then to revise it, make it beautiful and perfect, something you're very proud of, and submit it for grading by June 1st. For anything else, June 3rd, which is a Friday, I'm going to make that our due date for all assignments. So basically anything you're behind on, you want to do your best to have that in by June 3rd so that I have time to grade everything. Again, our last day of class is June 6th. Your finished research paper, once I have edited it for you, will be your final paper. Yeah, there's no other final paper in addition. It's just the 4. You have to do the compare and contrast, which we did first, the personal essay, we did second, the argumentative essay, we did third, and then this research paper is the 4th essay, even though we're calling it a research paper, but it's the 4th assignment. So those are the 4 big ticket items. You need to have those done, and you need to earn at least 75%, which is a C, on each one of those to pass the class. If you have a grade that's in the 80s or the 90s, you do not have to redo any of the papers. If you wish to keep working on them, you may, but you don't have to. I would prioritize working on anything that is not yet finished and the research paper. Make sure that those get done. So you need to get at least a C, which is 75% on each of those 4 papers. And then you need a 75% total grade for everything in the class. If you turn in all of the papers and do at least most of the other assignments and a lot of the prompts, you'll be fine. But the big ticket papers, those 4 essays, those are your priority. Okay. Questions, concerns, comments? Good. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and let's do a little Kahoot to remind everybody about what's involved with the research paper. Plus, hopefully it's a little bit fun. So here we go. And let me start it. Has everybody done Kahoot before? Yep. Okay, good. So if, just a reminder, go to kahoot.it, I think it is, and then enter this PIN number, which is 2986820. Maybe you can just scan it too, but I've never actually tried that. Yeah, you can just hold your phone up to the computer screen and it will also let you join. It's cool. All right. So there should be more of you joining. We're waiting. Okay. So we should have Rosa. Anthony has tech limitations today. Mike, we've got Alicia. Suhail is here. Sanya, where are you? It's loading. Okay. I like the music. It's kind of groovy. It's a little bit nicer than sometimes they have that really horrible like elevator music. It's not quite as bad. Okay, cool. All right, so we have Alicia, 1, 2, 3, 4, Rosa and Sanya. We'll wait. Yay. Okay. Rosa, how are you doing? Do you need time or are you, I know it doesn't always work for everybody. And if you're on your phone, you can't do both at the same time. So, okay, there we go. All right, Malik's going to switch devices. Just let me know when you're ready. Uh-oh, I lost Alicia. So exciting. All right, Alicia's back. Malik, you're good? Yep, gone, but coming back. Switching devices. All right. All right. Anthony, even if you can't join us because you're on your phone, you can keep track of your answers as if you were playing and see how you would have done. Yeah. Okay. All right, my friends. So let me move this so I can see everybody. Okay. All right, here we go. How many sources are required for your research paper? 4 of any type we wish. 4, ideally 2 academic and 2 of our choice. None, but we get to add, any we add, we get extra credit, or 2 per paragraph. So it depends on the number of paragraphs. All right, number 3 is the correct answer. 4, ideally 2 academic peer reviewed and 2 of our choice. If you can't get all, if you're not able to get 2 peer reviewed, it is not the end of the world, but do try to get those if you can. Okay. All right. Next, let's see who's the fastest. Sanya. Okay, well done. True or false? This assignment is worth more points than the others. All right, it is true. It is worth a little bit more. Okay, got your back, Simon. It is worth a little bit more than the other ones. So the other ones are worth, I think, 15% of the grade, 15% each, and this one is worth 20. So it's the big ticket item because it's longer. Okay, next, let's see who's fastest this time. Suhail has taken over the lead. All right, next. True or false? By now, you should have a working draft, including a strong thesis and sources of your paper. Okay, looks like everybody has answered. Correct, everybody got this right. The answer is yes, it is true. You should have a good working draft, which you're almost ready to finalize and turn in on Wednesday with a good, strong thesis, your sources, and starting to integrate the sources into your paper if you haven't already. Okay. All right, Suhail, still the fastest. True or false? All of these answers can be found on our syllabus. Yes. And Suhail, who may have looked at the yeah, no, Suhail may they typed in that it's 40% for this paper. It's actually 20%. So it's 15% each for the first 3 papers, and then 20% for this. And then the other thing is points are divided between participation, daily writing prompts, and the daily writing prompts. And then any extra credit, there's a little wiggle room of 5% to add. Okay, so it's worth 20%. All right. It's labeled as 40%. Okay, it's 40% of the graded assignments. Maybe. No, I have to go back and look at that. But thank you for pointing it out. I will figure out why it says that, but it's 20%. All right. I might have just typed it wrong. Okay. Suhail, still in the lead. All right. What is the academic format we are using? Chicago style, whatever you want, APA, or MLA in-text citations. MLA in-text citations, excellent. And we will talk about it again on Wednesday, just to make sure you all know how to do the formatting of the citations. But when you send me your draft of your paper, I will also make sure that you have done the formatting correctly in there. So if they're not correct, I'll do 1 or 2 just to show you how it is supposed to be, and then you will correct the rest. Okay. Okay, Suhail is still in the lead. There we go. The last day of our semester is Wednesday, June 1st, Wednesday, June 8th, Monday, June 6th, or Friday, June 3rd. It is Monday, June 6th. We do not meet on Fridays, so it's definitely not on Friday. And Wednesday the 8th, class is done, semester is over. And Wednesday, June 1st is the day when your research paper is due, but the final forever final version. But that is not the end of our class. Okay. The only thing you want to keep in mind for June 3rd, Friday, is I'm making that the last day to turn in any other assignments. After that, it's too late, and I might not be able to grade things for you. Okay, so June 6th, which is not this coming Monday because it's Memorial Day, we don't have class. but it is the following Monday because we're almost done. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, Suhail, you're still in the room. Okay. Might not keep it though. We'll see. Final draft for Professor Clark's comments is due Wednesday, May 25th. True or false? True. This week, this Wednesday, the 25th, it is due. Okay, Sonia is taking the lead. Okay, there we go. It's getting tight here. Let's see how this keeps moving. What is the word count excluding the works cited page? 1,500, 1,200, 1,000, or 650 words? So that's just the text, not counting the works cited. That's extra. $1,000 words. Very good. And there's a question in here, are we using footnotes? No, you're not using footnotes. You're using MLA in-text citations. So the formatting will be, so you have no footnotes. If you have footnotes in your paper, that is not what you want for the last version. And before we sign off today, I'll have us look at it again very quickly, okay? And we'll talk about it a lot more on Wednesday. Okay. Good job, here we go. The game keeps reconnecting. Yeah, I think that everybody in the world is on Wi-Fi and nothing works well anymore. You must use 12-point Times New Roman font and double space your text. Yes, that is true. And if somebody gets kicked out, it is not the end of the world. Okay, so yes, all the papers that you have submitted should have been already in 12-point Times New Roman font, double spaced. That's for everything you do for this class. So it is the same. I'm sorry, it's kicking people out. It is, it's the internet. Blame the internet. Okay, Sonia is still ahead. There we go. True or false? Your final forevermore final research paper is due Wednesday, June 1st. True or false? True. June 1st is the when your research paper is due. June 3rd, last date to turn in anything else. But you should have your paper in finished forevermore. You're never going to look at it again for me to grade on June 1st, because you've already will have submitted your final draft to me for my comments this week. Okay. All right. All right, Sonia is still in the lead. Suhail is making a comeback though. Okay. Quiz. Your works cited page starts wherever your paper ends and is formatted however you wish. Is titled, comes at the end, uses hanging indents, alphabetized by author. There is no works cited page, use footnotes and a bibliography at the end. Correct. Number 3, it is titled, it will say works cited. It's at the end, so it should be on its own page. So you would do you can do an insert page break. It uses hanging indents, those little indents that we talked about that look kind of like flags, like the one word hangs out on the left-hand side and then there's a flag waving with the rest of the information. And alphabetized by author or whatever is the first word in your citation. Okay. All right. Next. Okay. Sonia, you have 10 in a row. Good job. Okay. True or false? Your paper needs exactly 5 paragraphs. False. It does not. It needs however many paragraphs you believe it needs. So in theory, you could probably have a 5-paragraph paper that is 1,000 words long. But my guess is you're going to end up with a paper that's longer, that has more paragraphs, because it is a longer paper. But there, I am not going to count up how many paragraphs you have. I'm going to count up how much content you have that is well written. That's all that matters. Okay. All right. All right. Next. Topic. Topic is of your choice. Topic of this paper is climate change. The topic is racial justice or LGBTQ rights. You are correct. It is the topic of your choice. Excellent. Okay, good. All right, last one, I think. How do you, however, need to include what an individual can do to address the issue presented in your paper, true or false? True, it is true. So whatever your topic is, whether it is climate change, it is the importance of catnip for a relaxed cat, whatever your topic is, you need to include something that brings it back to the individual level and how each of us as citizens on this planet can do something to make the world a little bit better surrounding this issue. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard to do. It doesn't have to be a long, elaborate inclusion in your paper. It might be 2 lines, that's all. But something so that you think about what we as individuals do, not just what the big they out there in the world are supposed to do. Okay. All right. All right. Rosa, number 3, well done. Suhail, number 2, well done. And our winner is Sonia, well done. And honorable mentions to everybody else who either couldn't get in or got kicked out. Thank you for joining. Okay. All right, so let me close that. Okay, so any questions about any of the questions that were on the Kahoot? Any clarifications that you want? Anything? I'm sorry, it doesn't work always for everybody. No? Okay, so let me quickly just all right, so let me share my screen one more time. I'm sure that is a sentence that everybody looks forward to never hearing again on a day when we don't have to be living on Zoom anymore. And just quickly show you again in our classroom here in the middle tab for classwork. We're focusing at the moment on block number 4, essay number 4, research paper, just one, sorry. There are Zoom the Zoom recordings, like what we're doing today, live here in this section. So if you want to go back and review any of the classes, if you weren't here, or if you have a classmate who couldn't be here today, you can tell them that they can watch them here. There are links. I have a little YouTube channel, so it's a section for us. And then this is information about the paper. And that's the part about how can an individual make the world a better place. And you're doing that in the context of whatever your topic is that you've selected. And then question. Scroll up and click the classroom icon in the top right corner. Okay, hang on one second and I will do that. Let's see. So if I go up to the classroom icon, this one, view your work. Okay. And research paper as 40%. Percentage. I am not seeing. Click the grade icon. Here, top right corner. So it says essays, 45%, which means the first three were each worth 15%, and 20% for the research paper. But thank you for showing me how to do that, because I'll be honest, I never knew that. And so I learned something today. But I can understand the confusion because it does say 45%. So it's 45% for the other, the other three and 20 for this one. All right. And participation is important, and the daily prompts and extra credit. Okay, but thank you for that. Okay, so here I have so many things open that there are too many things. Let's see. This is the one that is the sample paper. And this is how it should look. So again, I find this hard to look at because of all the little boxes. It's too much for my brain, but they explain the how and the why of doing things. So the green boxes explain the explanations of why you're doing things like you're doing it, and the blue boxes contain directions for how to do it. Okay, so when your paper is done, you will not have footnotes, but you will have your citations in parentheses, like here where it says Danhoff, so that you don't have to include the whole paper, the title, every single time that you're referring to it. It makes your paper look very streamlined. So footnotes, hang on one second and I'll answer that. So this is streamlined, and as you'll see, like in this paragraph, just this one paragraph, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 citations. And you don't really notice them that much because you don't have all the big clunky titles. You just have this little parenthetical reference. And here, this person seems to have added an end note, which is very similar to a footnote. And those are the things that look like, I don't know where their end note actually is. Oh, this is their notes. So it's where you put a little number and then it automatically puts that note at the end of the paper. You shouldn't need that because you're not doing deep research. So I would say just ignore all of that. But I will show you a sample of what a footnote looks like. But then I just want to jump to the end and show you that this is what your works cited will look like. So instead of footnotes, endnotes, bibliography, any of the other styles, you want to have your works cited in MLA, which is this format. So there's a hanging indent, meaning that the first word in your citation, the one that's most to the left, is hanging out like this, and the rest of it is all aligned underneath. So it's the opposite of a regular indent, where normally the first line goes in and the rest hangs out to the left. It's the opposite, okay? And it should be alphabetized by whatever is the word in the first place here in each citation. So alphabetically. And question, final draft due Wednesday, are going to give 1 grade so we know what we get and how much we need to improve it. No, this one I will give you points for turning it in, but I won't give you the actual grade. But so the final draft that you will turn in on Wednesday, I will go through it and I will give you comments and edits and help you with the formatting of the citations as needed. And you should assume a couple of things. One, that if I fix something in one place, you want to go through and make sure you fix it throughout. If there are other cases where, for example, you don't have the spacing right, you want to make sure the whole paper, you have just one space between words and sentences, things like that. Or something's misspelled, you want to make sure that the whole paper is spelled correctly. So I will correct very closely at least the first 2 paragraphs, probably. Certainly the first paragraph, like line editing. And then the rest, you want to make sure that anything I've mentioned in that first 1 or 2 paragraphs is corrected the same way throughout, such as the formatting for the citations. I may not go through and fix every single citation that you have used because that is your job, but you want to make sure that you go through and fix every citation so that they're all formatted correctly. If I say in a comment, I would consider doing such and such, that's more a stylistic choice that I feel whatever you have included could be better, but it's really up to you. If, however, I say word choice, and then I type in a word and say, I think you have used the wrong word here because it means this, and in this context, it doesn't match, then you'll want to fix that. Or if I say include citation, you definitely want to go back and add the citation for whatever fact you have just asserted. Things like that. If you do all of that and consider the edits I have made, suggested, told you that you absolutely need to do, then your paper should come back really good. So basically you're getting all of the comments in advance that you get on the other papers you've already submitted for grading. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But basically you're getting all of the benefit of my comments first, so that when you turn in the version for grading, it will already be fixed. Do other professors in college do this? That's an excellent question. I don't know. I don't know. Probably. I do it because of the timeline of the class, and it makes everybody's life easier. Some people, instead of doing that, will give you like graded drafts and then graded final versions. Did people do this when I was in college? We were still using tablets and stones, you know, to scratch things out in the sand. I'm kidding. I'm not that old. I am pretty old, but I don't remember. I don't remember. And I feel like when I was in college, I turned papers in. So in a writing class, it is normal to do several drafts and you get comments and feedback in whatever order the professor decides. In regular classes that were not writing classes, if you turn in a research paper, you don't get to turn in a first draft. You just turn in the paper. So it has to be perfect when you turn it in. And then it's up to the teacher whether they let you resubmit it or not. This class, the whole point of this class is for you to learn how to be better writers. So you always get to turn in the paper and redo it. And in this case, with the research paper, you get to turn in drafts that I will look at. But if you're doing a research paper for a biology class, no, you would just turn in the final paper. It's totally on you to get it right. And they may or may not let you resubmit it, depending on the teacher and depending on what the errors are. You know, if you've completely misunderstood the assignment, perhaps they will let you redo it. If you've just got a lot of typos, probably not. They're going to say, well, you should have checked that. Okay, so let me see if I can find notes versus MLA. Let's see. Let's see if we got images. All right, so I'm just going to look this up. Okay, so here on this right-hand corner, this is another example from Scribbr, which is great. I love Scribbr. You can see that the person has written something, blah, 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 and they have gone into their document and added a footnote, which it will automatically organize the numbering of the footnotes. They say add footnote, type in their little footnote, and then it makes a little list at the end of each page, at the foot of the page, the bottom of the footnotes for that corresponding page. That's what footnotes look like. That's what they are. You're not going to use them for this paper. So if you have something that looks like that, you're using the wrong format. You want to just have the MLA format, which will have all of your citations at the end of the document. Okay. So it will look like it will look like this, not with the little footnotes. Also, this is not a deep research paper, so you don't really need to worry about footnotes. If you absolutely need to include a footnote, you're just like determined that that footnote's going in, then add it as an end note. And I will help you fix it if need be. But I would say if you have something you feel needs to be added, just put it in the text. Then you don't have to worry about footnotes or endnotes or any of it. Integrate it into your text if it's that important that it needs to go in. Okay, make your life easier, not harder. So again, if we go back here to our class and to block number 4, you will have done your research proposal, your thesis statement, you did peer review of thesis statements, you had your first draft of your paper, the final draft, which is coming to me this week, which I will give you comments on. And then there are also, in this section, MLA research paper handouts, a whole bunch of stuff that can help you look at how to make sure your title is capitalized, and you want to have a title that is unique to your paper. And then there are things about works cited, MLA, MLA, MLA. If you're using a picture or anything that is a imagery, whether it's a film or documentary or just a photograph or whatever, there's a little thing on how to do the citation for that. This is the draft paper that we looked at with all the little boxes. There is a paper on how to do the hanging indents. There's another copy of a sample paper. There's a thing about titles, how you do quotation marks if you're using a title, and then like a quotation, a title, but also if you're using a title within a quotation, for example, what gets the double quotes, what gets the single quotes. If you're getting into any of that, this document is for you. It will help explain how to do that. And then there's a document about quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. I was going to make an assignment and I didn't do it, so I'm just not going to worry about it. Okay, so another comment is you want to send in what I have for research paper now so you can edit it and comment it. Yes, so whatever you have by Wednesday, which ideally should be everything you're going to have. So by the time the version that you, let's start again, the version that you're going to send me as your final draft for my comments, which is due this week, you should assume that I'm going to give you comments and all you're going to do after that is fix whatever I have suggested needs to be fixed. You're not going to go back and add another page or find another 7 sources. That should all be done. So if you're almost to the point where you feel like you have done every single thing that you need to do for the paper, then submit it. If you feel like you're going to do a little bit more work and you're not quite done with the paper, then just let me know. I'm going to turn this in a little bit later because I still have a little bit of work and I want to give you the full draft. Okay, so from your end, it should be, as far as you're concerned, it's ready to be turned in for grading. But I will look at it first before I actually grade it so that you have the chance to fix it and make it beautiful and perfect. Okay. A peer-reviewed source. I would recommend going back and having a look at one of the Zoom recordings, which is this one that says peer-reviewed documents, articles. But in a nutshell, what it is an academic article that has been written by an expert in the subject, who then submits it for publication to an academic journal. But before it gets printed, other experts in the same field will read through that article and say, yes, we agree with this. This is correct with the current understandings of our subject of expertise, and they give it their approval. That means that it has been reviewed by the peers of the expert who wrote it. And that is how it gets stamped as peer reviewed. Okay. You find those predominantly in library, like academic libraries, like the LaGuardia research databases. So that's where you find them. That said, LaGuardia has loosened up their rules a lot. And so if you cannot find the peer reviewed, it's not the end of the world. But the more, sort of expert a paper author is, the more credibility it gives to your research, rather than just, something you read off of some random site that, you want to have your sources be as reliable as possible, basically. That's what that is. Okay. Would anybody like to see anything else in our Google Classroom before I close this? No? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. All right, my friends. Any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? No. I would, great. I would also suggest, just for your own sake, before you turn in the final draft for my review, maybe go back and look at, okay, cool. I've gone over everything, good. So maybe just go back and also have a quick peek at the comments that I made for the other 3 research, the other 3 essays that you have submitted for this class. The first 3, just because I may have said, these are the areas that you need to work on your writing, to remind you, oh yeah, I've been working on this all semester. I need to keep working on this, or I think I've got it pretty good, but she pointed it out before, so maybe I should double check. Have a peek at those also, because it may be helpful for you. Take advantage of all the comments that I've given you so far in the semester, because the writing the topic of this essays changed, but the writing is still writing. So the comments will apply. All right. All right. So Wednesday, we will meet again and chat about the MLA formatting. We can do some samples. If you have any other questions, send me an email. I think that's about it. So you're welcome to sign off and have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you on Wednesday. And don't forget, next Monday, we do not have class. Okay. So have a great day, everybody.